Hey, it's Frankie, Castellan Motivational Standard. www.castellanms.com. I will put my info on the video. Take a look at my social medias, etc., etc., etc. You'll see everything there. Anyway, just driving home from work and had a long 14-hour day in good old Greenville, South Carolina. I wanted to send out my condolences to everyone affected from not only Hurricane Helene, but also Hurricane Milton that just happened this past week. Today is October the 11th. We, as a family, got affected by Hurricane Helene. Long story short, we were out of power for a day and a half. It was a lot of winds, 70-mile-an-hour winds, but luckily, we lived in a townhouse. No trees went down where we were. Branches fell here and there, but didn't affect where we lived. Thank God. Power was out, like I said, a day and a half, in addition to our cars being unscathed, which is wonderful. So we were fortunate on that note. But getting gas was a bitch. Getting food was a bitch. Because it was so scarce and I couldn't really do much of anything. So, oh well. But everything worked out for the better, and I'm happy that our family's okay and we're safe in the storm. So that's good news. Not everyone was that lucky. And we have huge devastations, not only in the Greenville area, because that's where I live, the Greenville, South Carolina area, but also devastation in Asheville, North Carolina, which is really impacted. And so impacted that they're not allowing anyone to go to the city. And I'm about maybe an hour and change from there, so it's a hop, skip, and a jump. And the governor of North Carolina saying, don't bother coming. Don't bother coming. Which I understand. And I have many memories in Asheville. Not only with my mom, my wife, my daughter. We all had trips to Asheville, and we had a great time with it. So, and it's sad to see Asheville the way it is. In regards to that, my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected. So, getting onto the topic in hand, which we're going to talk about Hurricane Milton, which hit Florida and hit Florida hard. And Tampa, Florida is where I used to live for many, many years. And I miss Florida to a degree, just like I miss New York to a degree. But, you know, you can't bring nostalgia back to a place that you left from because things change. You know, I bet you money that the Tampa Bay area is more developed in 10 years than I could remember. So, but I have my memories there, and I have friends still out there, and I love them dearly. I double check with them, make sure they're okay, and they're good. Thank God. So, Hurricane Milton, really devastating storm, hit a lot of the Sarasota area, the St. Pete area, Manatee County, and that's where I want to get to right now. Everyone saw the footage in the sports world. Everybody saw the footage. Everyone took coverage of this. MLB, ESPN, every social media site that's known to man got this coverage, including the WWE. Don't ask me why, but it's relevant. Tropicana Field. The roof is completely destroyed. From what you see in the picture. Completely destroyed. And it just threw a nice curveball on the Tampa Bay Rays, because technically they're doing everything right, in my opinion. And I already did my rant of Oakland. Okay? Go check out that video when you get a chance. But, yeah. So, Tampa Bay, they got approved to build not only a brand new stadium, which will open in 2028, should be breaking ground next year, and they will be building in the surrounding areas, including the parking lot of Tropicana Field. And when Tropicana Field demolishes, they're going to build everything. They're going to build pretty much a little city within a city. Like basically make it a year-round attraction, which I give full support of. When you look at downtown Greenville, where I live, I'm like, they've really developed that area. And at one time, this was years before I moved out here, that it was strictly a lot of homeless. A lot of homeless people, a lot of crime. Nobody wanted to go out there, so they really redeveloped the area and made it to somewhere that it can be a tourist attraction. Check it out. Look up Falls Park, downtown Greenville, South Carolina, Flora Field. It's really nice places. Bon Secours Wellness Arena, very nice arena. Just went there the other day with my daughter to a hockey game. It was very nice. But anyway, what they're trying to do in St. Pete is trying to build up that particular district, the gas plant district. Okay? So, people ask me, and I know I'm probably getting a little off topic, people ask me, why do the Rays have to play in St. Pete? Why can they move to Tampa? And I'll give you the straight answer. Money talks. Money always have talked. Okay? That's no ifs, ands, or buts. Money has always talked. And I'm going to explain from the timeline, because I've been following this since in my early 20s when they did the whole Major League Downtown project. Oh, Jesus Christ. They were trying to build a new stadium from Outline Field, make it to this, basically a tent that rises up and down when it rains. Thank God they did not do that, because that would have been catastrophe right there. But it didn't happen. They couldn't approve funds for it. Couldn't pay for it. That was their first try. Then they did a survey with different areas. Toy Town, I forgot the office park's name, but it's nearby. It's nearby Gandy and St. Petersburg. The dog track, the St. Pete Clearwater Airport area where there was a golf course. They accessed every option known to man. They had a 30-year lease with the Trop, and and the St. Pete government was saying, nope, you got to write out this lease. There's no way to back out of it, and the Rays would not be able to pay it out. So they did a study, I would say maybe about a decade ago, and they said that the more financially feasible option, the more, the option that makes more sense when it comes to the region is to have a stadium in Tampa. So St. Pete said, okay, go look at Tampa. They tried mainly Ybor City. And they tried a couple sites in Ybor City. Didn't work. Why? Tampa wasn't going to fund it. Hillsborough County was not going to fund it. There was no way. They have a lot in their pocket when it comes to financing. They finance Steinbrenner Field for the Yankees. They finance Raymond James Stadium for the Buccaneers. I think they did financing now for the Mahle Arena. I don't know. I remember it was originally private, but I don't know if public funds have been jumping into it for, renovations and stuff. I don't know. But financing never worked. Public funding never worked. So they tried that route. While they were trying that route, Mayor Ken Welch was trying to find out what way to redevelop the gas plant district where Tropicana Field is. developers, and one put in the bill. Hines and the Tampa Bay Rays, the Hines Development Group, they were going to put a bid in it, and they did, and they won. And then now we got talks of having a ballpark there, and it was a huge risk, and not everyone was going for it. So after a good, when did they make an announcement? They made the announcement last year, October of last year, September of last year. I take that back, but they didn't get approval for financing of the stadium until this year, and everything is signed, sealed, delivered. They just have to come up with their financing plan, the Rays. But now with this situation, with the Tropicana field being the way it is now, there's going to be a lot more questions than answers, and those questions are not going to be answered right now. I'll tell you that for sure. But there was an article I saw. It was through Tampa Bay Rays, which is the fan site under SB Nation, where fans get to, debate pretty much. So, and they have some pretty cool fan articles. Tampa Bay Rays had a poll in an article involving this, saying, where would the Rays play in 2025? And I'm going to leave it at that, 2025. I don't see a future, 3-year plan, like with the Oakland Athletics or the Athletics or whatever hell they call Sacramento Athletics, Atleticos, Fisher's Idiots, I don't know. But anyway, playing in that minor league ballpark, that's going to be 100 degrees in the desert. Good luck to them. Anyway, they're going to have to do serious damage control, and I do have a solution for it, and I would go to 2 sites to help them out. One, it would definitely be Steinbrenner Field. You get the Tampa crowd in, you put some banners up, it's a temporary home. I don't think the Yankees will mind to be honest with you. I don't think, technically the Yankees lease there. Not bought. That's not their property. It's the city of Tampa. So they should be able to do a temporary lease there for at least 3 months. And then after that, I think the place that would benefit from this after 3 months, because that's before rainy season, so March, April, May, maybe June, depending on the weather. But from June to September, I would suggest Marlins Park. And the reason why, sharing with another major league team, here's the reason why I say Marlins Park is an option. Not a lot of crowds are coming to a Marlins game. The ownership is very difficult. I said this years ago in another video I did. No one gives a shit about the team. Ownership has no idea what to do. They just cleaned house on their whole front office staff, and they're trying to figure out what to do because they have no idea what to do. Imagine bringing an established, reputable team like the Rays into Marlins Park. You might get better crowds in Miami, and it is a beautiful stadium. I went there in 2012. It is a nice stadium. Beautiful, okay? I don't understand why they don't get more crowds. They need to establish their team and build a market around it, because this is ridiculous. And I made a video a while back. You'll probably take a look at it on my channel about being Florida's team or being the Southeast team, similar to how the Braves are doing it. They're a regional team technically, and they market themselves. I'm like, both these teams should market throughout the state of Florida. But I digress. So I would definitely suggest the Mullins Park or Lone Depot Park, whatever you want to call it, for the remaining of the year. Maybe do a half and half. Steinbrenner Field, first half of the regular season, and then after the All-Star break on Mullins Park. I don't think it would be a bad idea. The thing is, you finally get to experience the whole split season bullshit that the owner of the Rays proposed years ago, which MLB shut down. So I propose that. Anyway, with that being said, I wanted to take time to let you know about the playoffs, the MLB playoffs. I have not been interested in the playoffs and the World Series for a good amount of years. And with cable and streaming services getting more and more expensive, I don't even bother watching. And, I got other things to do. I just keep tabs on my social media whenever I get a chance. But, to my surprise, and I never thought I would see this again, but I am seeing it. Both New York teams are in the championship series. The New York Yankees going to ALCS, and the New York Mets going to the NLCS. Who would have thought? Some of the biggest payrolls that crashed and burned last season are now 1 foot away into the World Series, and possibly being a Subway Series, which I think it is awesome. I think it would be awesome to see. I will find a way to watch the World Series if those two play. Now, who am I going to root for? That is going to be a difficult question to answer, and I'm going to tell you why. When I was little, I was so fascinated. Excuse me. I was so fascinated on getting on the Mets uniforms from the late 80s, early 90s with the racing stripes and all that. I used to love those uniforms. I loved blue and orange at the time. The Yankees, that was my brother's favorite team. Well, he was a Mets fan too when 86 happened. But he was preferably a Yankees fan, but the Yankees weren't doing too good in the late 80s, early 90s. So he switched over to the Mets. And preferably, he was a Yankee fan. I looked at those uniforms and I was like, meh. They're plain, simple. The only thing that was great about the Yankees was not only their dynasty, but the teams that they have throughout the century. That's about it. But the uniforms, it's pinstripes, road grays, very plain, and traditional. Keyword, traditional. But I was really fascinated with the colors when they jumped into the script in the mid-90s, and then the white, and then the black, and they did numerous amount of combinations, and they were awesome, and I loved it. I was really much a Met fan in the late 90s going into the 2000s. I did root for the Yankees in 96. That was a huge surprise. And I got to see my first World Series, in New York. I didn't go to the games, but I got to see it on TV and saw a representative of New York playing a World Series. So that's awesome. So going back to me being a Met fan. Do you remember 2006 with the Cardinals? and the Andy Chavez catch, which I thought they were going to win it. I really thought, but it was the Cardinals we're talking about. And they lost that game. They lost it in the championship series to Cardinals. I got to the point I was fed up. Because anytime they go to the playoffs, they just lose. They were the lovable losers. They've been like that since the inception. I'm like, with the exception of 69 and 86. And I just gave up in 2006. And I just went right to the Yankees. A lot of shit occurred in my life between 2007, 2008, heading into 2009. And I was not in the best place in my life. So when the Yankees went into the World Series, I paid attention. And I enjoyed every single game. I enjoyed, what it brought to the table. And when they won the World Series, I'm like, I was a happy man. So I switched my allegiance to the Yankees. And to this very day, I've been a Yankees fan. And we stick to being a Yankees fan. But with that being said, I'm going to lean towards being a Yankees fan, but I'll root for the Mets if it's need be. Like, I wouldn't boo on them. Let's just put it that way. So I'll root for my Yankees because they got me out some serious trauma. But if the Mets win the World Series, I'm not going to hold it against them. I think that would be wonderful. Either way, the city of New York wins. And I think New York would be, much more flourished with the New York Series. You got the Dodgers, you got the Padres, you got the Tigers, you got the Guardians. You're looking at a lot of World Series scenarios that are awesome, original, brand new. I would love to see the Guardians going to the World Series. I would love to see the Tigers going to the World Series. The Dodgers would be a big deal because of who they signed. And I just went the wrong way. What is going on here? Alright, I have space here. Anyway, it's going to be an interesting series. All I'm going to say. Take a look at my website, www.castleonms.com. Go to my social medias, YouTube, the whole nine. But yeah, you're my little car drive in order to get everything off my chest, because I've been thinking about this last couple of days, and that is what I've been thinking about. It's like, okay, the Trop scenario, that's huge. I talked about the Oakland situation. That was, Jesus Christ, I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I'm like, that's a whole clusterfuck in itself. Now, the Subway series, there's a lot of things that are interesting in baseball, but you gotta make it more accessible for the consumer. These rights deals, these blackouts, you need to have a platform that fucking is accessible to customers. But I digress. Moving on. Appreciate you guys. Take care. God bless.